don't want to be strong like man who look pretty. I want to be strong like bitch that fight bears in the forest.
Welcome to another episode of Bitch vs. Bear with your host, Amber, me, and me, Sydney, co-owners of Showman Training Co. This is a show where we bitch, laugh, and chat about all things fitness related to women in the LGBTQIA plus community.
I see what you did there, and I don't appreciate it.
Amber, last week we talked about pregnancy and fitness, and this week we're going to be talking about postpartum fitness. We're jumping kind of like, you got pregnant, and what did you just say?
The invader is here.
The invader is here.
Yes, Sydney. This week we are continuing our exploration of fitness and pregnancy and motherhood and parenthood. Parenthood, I guess. So we are going to dive into postpartum challenges and strategies. So now that it's here, what do you do about it?
Yeah, I think this is the time.
I mean, not about the actual child, just your fitness.
Yes. Yeah.
We can't help you with the child.
No, please. I mean, I'm actually really great at babysitting. I am good with kids from like 0 to 6 months.
Mm.
And then if you bring them back around when they're like 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like,
that makes sense.
Those
toddler years are rough.
Well, they're rough and like they're still learning how to like navigate their world. And when they get a little bit older, then I'm really great because I can entertain them. I can like kind of start to talk to them like they're like humans.
Yeah.
And so yeah.
They're just weird aliens until that point.
Kinda. Yeah. I like them. I think they're fun. I like watching kids. I like watching their exploration of the world around them.
That is fun.
Which is really fun. I mean, we've both been educators, so like, it's not that we hate children.
No,
like we love them.
Children are great, just in small doses.
We just don't want our own.
Yeah, I don't want them in my home. This is my space. They're not in my top 8. So it is essential for new mothers to consult with healthcare professionals, as we keep saying, because we are not doctors, such as their doctors, midwives, postpartum specialists, to ensure that they engage in appropriate exercises and gradually progress towards their fitness goals while considering their individual circumstances. So this topic is also important for non-birthing parents who may still be facing challenges in postpartum.
Yes.
Yeah.
The first episode was really geared towards the person who was carrying the baby.
Yeah. Because it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. But now, once the baby arrives, there's a lot of challenges that both parents face. And it can it's an interesting time.
It is, yes.
So we're going to outline some common hurdles. These, again, everybody has their own individualistic things and challenges that they're going to come up against. But here are some common ones. So after giving birth, a woman's body is going to go through significant challenges and changes, including healing, which is a huge one, and potential postpartum complications.
Yeah.
It's a scary thing to think about, but does happen.
It does.
So physical recovery takes time, and new mothers may experience pain, fatigue, and weakness. These factors can make it challenging to engage in regular exercise and regain pre-pregnancy fitness levels. That's a big one.
It is.
Yeah, physical recovery is probably the most common hurdle that people think of when they think of postpartum.
Yeah, exactly. It makes sense. It's the most like tangible kind of thing. So another big hurdle is hormonal fluctuations. These are common after childbirth, with the levels of estrogen and progesterone dropping significantly. These hormonal changes can affect energy levels, mood, motivation, making it more challenging to establish a consistent fitness routine.
Yes. Did you ever watch Scrubs?
Yes.
Okay. So when Kirk when they have the baby, when they have, and she's like, I just have the weepies, but she's like, gonna quit her job as a nurse and go like work at the Gap full time. It's like that's what I think of with like hormonal changes. It's just
real and
yeah.
it's huge.
It's yeah. And I'm just like, oh gosh, like could you imagine like being
Yeah. I also think about it like when you're a teenager and going through these major hormonal shifts. Like you know something's wrong, but you don't know what it is. And you don't know how to voice what is wrong.
yeah. You can't identify, like you can't pinpoint and be like, oh, this is the thing that's making me feel this way.
Yeah. It's the weepies.
It's the weepies. This one is probably another one that a lot of people would identify and is common for both parents, both caregivers, is the lack of time.
Oh,
so
right.
Caring for a newborn demands a significant amount of time and attention. You are trying to take care of yourself. You're trying to take care of a new thing that has come into your world. Who you can't have a conversation and say, "Yeah, can you please let me know your schedule?" Like you are finding that out real time, and not everybody. Like there's general things that newborns when they want to eat, when they want to sleep, but there's going to be significant changes for individuals, and so like unfortunately, you might have a baby who doesn't want to eat at 7 p.m. but wants to eat at 9. And like that was your normal like wind down yoga time before bed.
Yeah. Now it's time to feed the baby.
Now it's time to feed the baby. So sleep deprivation is the thing that we all kind of know and associate with that kind of coming home newborn stage, and around the clock feeding and diaper changing schedules leave very little time for self-care, let alone exercise. So like feeding yourself can be really difficult during this time. So it's going to be one of those things that finding time for physical activity amidst all of these like challenges and demands on your time can be a major hurdle for everyone. And I think it's most often identified for, the parent who gave birth, but it's if you're a really active, non-giving birth parent, you're taking on a lot of these things. You understand that you might not be the one feeding, so you're taking up all of the other things.
Yeah. The diaper changing, the household chores, which doesn't get talked about a lot.
Yes.
Like, yeah, it's a lot. It's so much. I feel like, and I'm sure I've been guilty of this misconception, but like it feels like, oh, well, it's an infant. It's just going to sleep. Like, why can't you just do these things while it's sleeping? Well, while it's sleeping, you have to try and bathe yourself, feed yourself, take care of your home, do laundry, clean all the bottles or diapers if you're using diapers, whatever. Like it's a lot.
Yeah.
While trying to heal your body.
Yes. Yeah.
And like, I feel like those times that they're asleep are not that long.
No, because then they need to eat. All they do is sleep and eat.
And fill their diapers.
And fill their diapers.
Really gross.
Because they also went under, we forget, they had a traumatic experience as well.
Can you imagine?
Evicted violently without warning.
There was no notice.
They got an eviction notice, and at best they had 24 hours.
And then suddenly people are grabbing them and touching them, and it's cold, and
their whole world has just shifted dramatically. So like it's everybody's undergoing a lot of
lots of
stressors,
which means that the postpartum period can be incredibly emotionally challenging with feelings of overwhelm, stress, and the baby blues or postpartum depression.
Yeah. The weepies.
The severe weepies. These emotional states can affect your motivation and hinder the desire to engage in physical activity.
Yes.
Yeah. Like I get it. I wouldn't want to if I was dealing with all this.
No.
Fitness is the last thing on my mind.
Yeah. So we've talked about all of the changes that occur to one's body during pregnancy.
Yes.
But those concerns don't stop once the baby is born. Like it's like, okay, your body changed. And then like, I think especially maybe in a time of past, people just were like, oh, I'm going to get my body back. And we're like, kind of crazy about it. And it's just like, No, it's okay. Like your body, you've gained weight. There are probably new stretch marks, changes in breast size
Mm.
for the woman who carried. These physical just changes can impact your, self confidence and make it more challenging to engage in fitness activities, right?
Right.
Like you probably aren't wearing the same sports bras that you were pre baby.
Yeah.
You're
You're probably not wearing much of anything
yeah,
immediately after giving birth that you wore pre-baby.
yeah, exactly. So like giving yourself a little bit of grace and understanding around those things of like maybe you're up a couple pant sizes. Maybe, you're not wearing your tank tops because you have stretch marks that have now developed. So body image concerns are definitely one of those things. Even for non-baby carrying parent, you're
Yep.
going through you're trying to be supportive and you probably had a lot less time during the pregnancy. So your body probably changed as well. Like,
Yeah.
we joke about dad bods, but it's a real thing. Like, if
Yeah.
you're being supportive and caring for your partner, and like those changes probably have occurred to you as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Less time for working out, weirder hours, weirder eating habits. Like,
If you're ordering a burger because mom is craving during her pregnancy, you're probably getting a burger too. Let's be
I mean,
serious.
obviously. Yeah. Or you're, ordering, Uber Eats or whatever because you're too exhausted to make dinner tonight because you've both been caring for a baby that won't sleep for more than half an hour.
Yeah.
Like, which brings us to support. Adequate support from family, friends, or partner can make a significant difference in a new mother's ability to prioritize their fitness. However, lack of support, both practically and emotionally, can make it difficult to focus on personal health and fitness goals. So, we just talked about that supportive partner who's there with the birth giving parent, you know, making sure they are eating, making sure they have time to rest, all these things. But what happens if they don't have that supportive partner
Yeah.
or family who are available to help them or a support system in place? Like, that's a lot to take on by yourself.
It is. I I just read something in researching all of this that there's been a little bit of a shift, and I think it's a great shift where it used to be that when support like family would come over and things would be like, oh, I'll hold the baby while you go do things,
No.
and physical contact for parents and their child is incredibly important for the child.
Mhm.
And so when you are that family member, that friend who's coming over to be supportive, instead of being like, oh, I'll hold the baby, you probably want a break, go make like a freezer
Yeah.
dinner meal.
Make yourself
Go-
useful.
Yeah, go fold laundry. Go do those things and let mom and dad, or both moms or both dads, or whoever hold the baby. They want to hold the baby and the
Mhm.
baby needs to be held. It's important for you to get time too, but like if you're
Yeah.
only ever coming over to hold the baby while the parents go do physical labor around the house,
That's not helpful.
that's not helpful.
Like, yes, you want to give the parents time for themselves to take care of their physical needs, showering, sleeping, whatever. But like that time that you're holding the baby should be for them to rest or
Yes.
shower. Otherwise, you should be doing some housework
Yeah, exactly. Like
and relieving that burden on them.
Like if the baby is sleeping, go tell them to go shower while you go vacuum.
Yeah. Like they can keep an eye on the baby monitor so that you can have undisturbed shower time.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I know. I was like, ugh, not but like,
It's so much.
yeah, you had to like decompress for a moment there. Okay. Breastfeeding considerations.
Oof.
This is also physically taxing on your body.
Right?
So, if a new mother is breastfeeding, she may have some concerns about how exercise can affect milk supply and the comfort of breastfeeding.
Yeah.
I learned so much about breastfeeding recently. It's it's kind of a heroic feat.
I would imagine so.
Like there are so many things like like milk supply, like you have to your nutrition has to be dialed in, your hydration, like so many things. So all of that all of those concerns may require additional planning and consideration when designing a postpartum fitness routine.
Makes sense.
So it's important to talk to like your midwife or your doctor about, okay, if I start doing these things, like if I'm sweating because I'm doing heavy cardio, what's that going to do to my milk supply?
Yeah.
If you are somebody who wants to breastfeed.
Right.
So it's just fascinating, like the amount of work that your body needs to do to be able to produce food for another human.
No more of those rest days.
It's insane.
Man, you grew the thing.
Yeah.
Now your body has to continue to work for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I have so
People
far
who give
learned
birth are amazing.
they're incredible. They are superhuman,
right?
It is a superhuman feat.
It's insane. I don't understand why we're designed this way. I feel like there's got to be a better way. And finally, and I feel like we've talked about this with other topics as well, but reestablishing a routine can be a major hurdle, right? So the arrival of a newborn, obviously, disrupts all established routines.
Everyone
It demolishes everything.
Just throw them out the window.
It's definitely a wrecking ball. So it's going to take time to adjust to the demands of parenting and the routines of parenting. So finding that new balance and incorporating fitness into your new routine can be really challenging. Yep. I mean, I have a hard enough time with a routine without having to deal with other human beings. Yeah, that's rough.
So, as always, our kind of MO is we point out the things that are challenging, and we hope that provides is like, oh, I'm not the only one going through this, and just feeling like really supported in knowing those things.
Your challenges are absolutely valid.
They're absolutely valid. But we don't want to leave you just feeling like, oh my God, there's so many challenges. We want to give you some strategies.
Yes. After you consult with your doctor.
So this one, I don't know if I can overstate this.
She just, you can't see her, but she just like got real close to the microphone.
So close. Ease into postpartum fitness by starting with gentle exercise and gradually increasing the intensity and duration over time.
Yes.
Begin with activities like walking, pelvic floor exercises, and gentle stretching.
Stretching's so good.
So good. Listen to your body and progress at a pace that feels comfortable for you. Yeah. I don't care if it takes you a year before you even step foot inside the gym. As long as you've talked with your doctor, you've come up with a fitness plan, and you do the things kind of as you can and try and build in that routine. That's going to be the best thing you can do postpartum is find that new routine and gently and gradually ease back into it.
Yeah. And, having grace for your body and all that it has done and continues to do. Pregnancy and childbirth can weaken the pelvic floor muscles.
Shocker.
So strengthening these muscles is crucial for core stability and bladder control.
I'm looking at you.
That's something we haven't talked about yet.
Oh, yes. The bladder control. I'm looking at all of the moms who line up at the bathroom door before we do jump roping.
Oh my God. Yes. So one thing you can do is consult with a pelvic floor specialist or a physical therapist to learn proper exercises to target the pelvic floor muscles.
Yes.
And help get those into shape.
I think, and that's something that I don't know if we dive into it, and I would like to just point out that physical therapists during this time can be really helpful and really beneficial in postpartum. And so if you are thinking of making a postpartum plan, or maybe you're getting ready to give birth and you're like, start thinking about a physical therapist.
Yeah.
They're incredibly helpful, and talk to your doctor. They may have some great recommendations for physical therapists. That could be a great way for you to start to ease back into that routine with giving you structure and taking time for yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah. Highly recommend physical therapists.
Yeah.
And it might take a little time to find the right one.
It might.
Yeah. Yes. I know there's some out there, we've talked with our friend Allison, who is the owner of Formation Physical Therapy. And, there are some physical therapists, or I don't know, they're not gyms, offices, business, I don't know, where it is tough. You do feel like you're not really getting that personal one-on-one attention. And that's kind of what you want post-birth. Like,
Yeah.
you want that one-on-one attention.
Yes.
You want somebody focused on you. So take your time, find the right person that you mesh with.
Yeah. And that's why I think, like, if you're in that stage right now, maybe you're in your second trimester, third trimester of like, okay, I know I'm going to want to get back to this point. Maybe it's not for, 3 months, but like start interviewing, start taking
Yeah.
a look, start doing your research, talking to friends for recommendations and
Mhm.
things, and getting somebody lined up
Yeah.
ahead of time could be really helpful, because then you're working towards something.
Yeah.
Right?
You have a
Like,
plan.
you have a plan in place to get back. So you can be like, I'm going to take 3 months and I'm not going to do anything.
Don't stress about it.
I'm not going to stress about it. And then I'm going to meet with this person and I'm going to start to get plan in place and I'm going to start to ease back into it.
Love it.
So, as a new parent, it might be hard to find some time to go to the gym or
Well-
attend fitness classes.
Can't imagine why.
So, embracing at home workouts that you can do whenever you have a spare moment
Mhm.
is an awesome way to get back into it.
Absolutely.
There are numerous online resources, including our own Shield Maiden TC for Instagram, that we post a workout once to twice a week. They're out all at home. Some require no equipment at
Mhm.
all. So it's just a great way of like, I only have 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And I
Great.
gotta do something for myself.
Mhm.
This is a great way to do it.
Absolutely.
Utilizing those at-home workouts.
Mhm.
There's also apps that offer postpartum fitness programs. So if it's
Nice.
like more tailored to postpartum and the needs of kind of like new parents.
Yeah.
And also might be a great thing for you and your partner to do together. Your
There you go.
self-care, if you only got 20 minutes while the baby's napping, then that's what you got.
Yeah. So you can also make fitness a bonding experience by incorporating your baby into your workouts.
They're heavy.
They are heavy.
Strength training.
Right? So use a baby carrier for walks or try postpartum exercise classes designed specifically for mother and baby interaction or parent and baby interaction. This allows you to stay active while tending to your baby's needs and getting that physical contact that we've been talking about.
One of my favorite things to see at the gym is when parents come in with their kids and they have them like they're incorporated into the fitness routine. So like they're doing squats with them.
Great.
Or they have like a little community of like baby sits on, when they're sitting up and like they're a little bit older, they're not newborn stage.
Yeah.
They're sitting up and like they're on, one of those like squishy mats, the CrossFit gym, and they have like, their fake little plastic barbells. So like they're watching this community of people working out.
Mhm.
And then this is a great example. The other day we were at the gym and there's two little ones and they're probably around 6 months. They're sitting up, like they
Yeah.
can sit up on their own. And they're not quite crawling yet. And dad was just warming up in front, had like one of the small bands around his feet, was just doing high steps, trying to get like hips loose. And the baby was sitting on the mat upright. And every time dad picked his feet up, baby would move their feet in too.
Oh my goodness.
And it was the cutest thing. And I'm like, look at that little sponge learning.
Right?
Just like seeing and being like, well, I can do that.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, they are totally paying attention and observing
Absolutely.
this environment.
Yeah. And like that's going to instill, like incorporating them into your fitness and making it a normal part of their life as well as yours can set them up for really good habits in the future too.
Yeah. I think it's me. Is it me?
It is you. Yes.
Okay, great.
You are green.
I got really excited about the baby who was like totally working out. I loved it.
Lost your place.
Yeah, I lost my
Yeah.
place.
We're
Okay.
talking about the supportive network.
Oh, great. That leads really well into surround yourself with a supportive network of family, friends, or fellow new parents who understand the challenges of postpartum fitness. That's one of the things. For example, this group, there's two babies who are about the same age at the gym.
Oh my gosh.
They're both about 6 months. And one of the best things is they have the little baby jumpers, but they clip them to the pull-up bars. So they both jump like next to each other. It's amazing.
That's horrible.
It is. It's like almost makes me be like, could do that. So they can provide motivation, accountability, and practical assistance, allowing you to prioritize your self-care and fitness. What I love about that is like the babies are bonding with each other and the parents are there working out at the same time. So they get a chance to be like, we're both in this together.
Yeah.
And so finding that, I think, can be a really beneficial thing for postpartum recovery.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we know that while caring for your newborn is a top priority, remember that self-care is equally important. Set aside time for yourself, even if it's just a few minutes a day. Focus on your well-being as the parent. Use this time for relaxation, meditation, or engage in a physical activity that you enjoy, like a short at-home workout, a quick yoga session, whatever you need to do. But you have to take time for yourself.
Yes.
It is so important.
It's like the emergency plan on the plane. Like you have to put on your oxygen mask before you can assist anyone else. And it's the same even with the baby. You have to be able to like do the things for yourself to be able to live and make sure that they have everything that they need.
Yeah. So. You can't. My favorite analogy is that you can't pour from an empty cup.
Yes.
Right? Like you have to refill your cup before you can give to anyone else.
Yes.
Yeah. It'll make you a better parent.
It will. And being realistic about what your postpartum fitness goals are and give yourself that time to recover, like we've talked about. I think it's really important to avoid comparing yourself to others, especially others who aren't parents.
Yes. You do not compare yourself to non-parents.
Yeah.
Don't compare yourself to anyone, but
especially make sure that you're catching yourself if you're doing that. Yeah. Putting pressure on yourself to bounce back quickly is just setting yourself up for shame and guilt and feeling not great. And the way you can avoid doing that is celebrate some small milestones and progresses. Yes. And remember that everybody's postpartum journey is going to be unique.
Exactly.
So maybe it's, hey, I got outside today. I spent 10 minutes in the sun getting vitamin D.
Perfect. That's amazing.
That's awesome. Yeah. You left your house. Because sometimes even just getting out door can be hard.
I couldn't even imagine. Oh my gosh. With a small child and myself, like, no way. Yeah. It's not happening.
It's not happening.
So I think we said this last week with while you're actually pregnant, but proper hydration. Hydrate or dihydrate, folks. So proper hydration and a well-balanced diet are essential for postpartum recovery and your energy levels. Stay hydrated by drinking plenty of water, maybe some coconut water, and focus on nutrient-dense foods that support your overall health and well-being.
Yes.
So important.
So important.
Yeah.
All right. Remember that postpartum period is a time of immense adjustment and transition. I think if you didn't get a sense from this episode of all of that, then maybe go back and re-listen to it.
Perhaps you were doing something else.
Because we definitely stressed that there's a lot of like adjustment and transition and things going on. Be kind and patient with yourself. Acknowledge that your body has gone through significant changes.
It's a trauma.
Yep. Celebrate all of those small victories and focus on your overall health and happiness rather than solely on like your physical appearance.
Yes.
And that I think is just a good key for anybody listening to the episode is like, we want to make sure that we're looking at the big picture. The overall health is really what we're most focused on. I don't care if you have a 6-pack of abs. I really don't.
And if you've been listening to this show and you still think that physical appearance is what we're talking about here, perhaps you should start over again.
Yeah. Go back and listen to episode 1.
Yeah. Overall well-being is the most important thing. Yep. For you and your baby and your partner. Yep. If there's a partner.
Or your family. Whoever's, everybody needs to be taken care of.
All right. So those are our challenges and our strategies post-birth, post the thing that we've never experienced. But Sydney has done plenty of research on. That's a wrap for this episode of Bitch versus Bear. Keep listening every Wednesday as we continue exploring different topics related to fitness, women, and the LGBTQIA plus community. And make sure to follow, share, like, comment, all the things. We want to hear from you,
All the things.
but only nice things or
Yes.
constructive things.
Yes.